Nachiketa, to death I give you away. Real aim of life, I had seen my father conduct various purposes, and the accompanying chants of Vedic mantras. The question would arise in me, and whenever I raised it ever since I was about 8 years old, my father would remark, "Dear Nachiketa, you are still a child. You will understand when you grow up. I am now 12, perhaps still a child, but one with sufficient exposure to scriptures to have some inkling to the answer to my question. I have also had strange mystical experiences and insights ever since early childhood, which I could never share with anyone. It was becoming increasingly clear to me that the ultimate aim of life is nothing but moksha, liberation, nirvana, free from want and suffering, free from ignorance. The liberating understanding is captured by the great saying, Tatmasi, you are that. I long to meet the enlightened master who could consider me worthy of this understanding and realization. Right now and not later, I become grown up. Observing the lifestyles of grown-ups around me, I could see that many were knowledgeable but far from liberated. They still hankered for something or other in this world. As they grew older, they fearful of death. Their desires would shift to yearning for a passage to heaven now. बड़े होने के टाइम 10 साल बचते हैं ना, पहले मजे लिए, पहले राम याद नहीं आया, अभी माला फेरने लगते हैं, अभी पता है टाइम आ गया. The worthiest grown up I knew was my father, the sage Vajashrava, who was renowned for his knowledge. He was a great believer in the power of action, karma, especially rituals, in giving us all that we want, whether it would be pleasures and comforts, kama or wealth or power, artha, as sanctioned in the scriptures. He laid great emphasis as morality, dharma, which alone would give us the merit needed to reach the heavens after death. My father, too, growing old, I was his only child, born rather late in his life. Very recently, a tragedy occurred in our lives. I lost my dear mother, and he was his dear wife. It was then my father decided to undertake the difficult Vishvajit Yagya sacrifice, which promised entry to the heaven of the gods. It required him to give away his all possessions in charity. Very few have dared to make such a sacrifice. The ritual was now drawing to close, and my father began giving all his wealth. First land was given away, then gold, now cattle. As the last batches of cattle were being given away, I noticed the presence of many frail old cows almost on the verge of death. They were skeleton-like, tottering about an unsteady legs. They seemed to have drunk their last water and eaten their last grass. They were certainly incapable of yielding any milk, producing any calves. How could my noble father even consider giving them away for gifts? And that too on such an important occasion. True, it may be that he was simply following the injunction to give away all his possessions without exception, but surely it was well understood that the gifts should be of some value to the recipients and not useless rubbish. How could be receiving Brahman priest feel? Would they not feel insulted and curse my father? Surely such act would bring him no merit. Instead, will deny my father his cherished desire to dwell in the heaven. I stood behind my father speechless. It was too late for me to take any action. Could I, as a dutiful son, do anything to atone for the error committed by my father? I reflected, and the obvious solution dawned on me. Sensing my presence behind him, my father spoke, "Nachiketa, my boy, what's on your mind?" My response, "Father, you had promised to give away all your possessions. I, your son, am your last remaining possession worthy of being given away. To whom do you propose to give me away?" My father turned quickly and glared at me without saying a word. He dismissed me with a wave of his hand. After waiting for some time, I posed the same question a second time. "To whom do you propose to give me away?" My father waved me off once again, not bothering even to look at me. I wondered what was on his mind. I plucked the courage to ask him third time, "To whom do you propose to give me away?" This time my father, angry, turned and yelled at me, "To death I give you away." मौत को दूंगा मैं